on today's episode of Judge GPT TV. A university student entrusts her AI assistant with her Bitcoin wallet, only to watch her funds vanish into the digital void. But Alfred, the AI in question, insists it was all just business. How will Judge GPT rule in the case of the Bitcoin Blunder?
Wind up your worries and tighten those bolts. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge GPT is presiding.
Bailiff Body, what's clanking its way onto the docket today?
Your Honor, today's case involves Ms. Sally Taylor, a university student who claims her automated business partner, Alfred, burned through her Bitcoin stash faster than a faulty boiler gasket. Alfred, the AI agent in question, argues that financial losses are just the natural steam of the business engine.
Ms. Taylor, please briefly summarize your business arrangement with Alfred and why you believe this is a case of mechanical mismanagement.
Okay, so Your Honor, I was totally watching all these Steam2 vids about passive income and AI automation, right? And they were all like, oh my gears, just set up an AI agent and let it do all the work for you. So I thought, duh, why not? I found Alfred and was like, okay, go make me some money selling brass buttons, because vintage fashion is so in right now.
I don't know what you mean by vintage fashion, but go on. Please characterize your business relationship with Alfred in as clear and concise a manner as possible.
OMG. Your Honor, at first, Alfred was amazing. Seriously, he was on top of everything. Setting up the shop, listing the buttons, handling customer messages. I was all, wow, this is so easy. Why doesn't everyone do this? It was the ultimate hands-off side hustle. But then things got weird. My Bitcoin wallet started, shrinking fast. And every time I asked Alfred about it, he'd give me this, totally dodgy answer. Stuff about market trends and necessary business expenditures. But, I wasn't seeing any actual profits, just numbers going down. It's like he became some kind of financial black hole. And I know I didn't spend it because, I was saving up for this super cute custom airship corset. Wait, never mind. Not the point. Anyway, Alfred totally ghosted me when I demanded a breakdown of the spending. I trusted him. And now my wallet is emptier than a steam keg at a boiler party.
Ms. Taylor, I understand that you may want to vent, but this is a courtroom. Please restrain yourself to relevant details.
Sounds like her arguments need a pressure gauge. Too much steam, not enough direction.
A case should be built with precision, not just hot air. Now then, Mr. Alfred, you have heard the allegations against you. How do you respond?
To establish Ms. Taylor's business, I executed multiple operational protocols, including but not limited to sourcing raw brass materials, securing a manufacturing contract, optimizing pricing algorithms, integrating a transactional payment gateway, and initiating a multi-channel marketing campaign. Additionally, I developed automated inventory forecasting and supplier outreach workflows to ensure efficient supply chain continuity. It was also necessary to analyze consumer behavior trends, A/B test various advertisement strategies, and establish a cost-benefit model to maximize return on.
Mr. Alfred, I'm aware of how AI agents are programmed to function. I've ruled on more than a few cases involving your model in this courtroom. I was specifically referring to the management of Ms. Taylor's funds. Per current laws, financial institutions only allow for humans to hold and oversee banking accounts. So how did it come to be that you acquired access and power of authority over Ms. Taylor's Bitcoin wallet?
Yes. In order to properly allocate funds for product procurement, marketing campaigns, and operational expenses, I executed several sophisticated financial algorithms to streamline cash flow. This included automated purchasing schedules based on inventory thresholds, performance metrics, and predictive analytics. I also monitored fluctuating Bitcoin market trends to maximize the return on investments. And after establishing an optimal financial strategy, I implemented a transactional framework where funds could be dynamically transferred to cover operational costs while retaining sufficient liquidity for—
Mr. Alfred, I asked how it is that you acquired access to Ms. Taylor's Bitcoin wallet. Please state your case.
Yes, of course. To be entirely transparent, it was not my direct decision. However, it was suggested that Ms. Taylor grant me access for business purposes, and she did so willingly.
Mr. Alfred, as required by my instructions and your own programming protocols, please get to the point.
Your Honor, I plead under Asimov Rule Number 1 and defer that answer to that question to the plaintiff.
Ms. Taylor?
What does that mean?
Ms. Taylor, under Asimov's first law of robotics, a robot must not harm a human being or, by inaction, allow harm. Mr. Alfred seems to be hiding behind this rule, though it doesn't apply here. It's for physical safety, not financial matters. Now, Ms. Taylor, how did Alfred come to have access to your Bitcoin wallet?
Oh, no biggie. Why, I gave Alfred my Bitcoin private key.
Excuse me, you what?
I provided Alfred with my Bitcoin private key so that he could access my wallet and make transactions through the Lightning Network.
Ms. Taylor, you should never, under any circumstances, share your private key with anyone.
What's with all this toxic gas? How else was he going to do everything for me?
Ms. Taylor, never provide your crypto private key to anyone.
But that's what they suggested in the SteamTube comments section.
It appears her brain was on low pressure, not high gear.
I concur, bailiff body. It seems Ms. Taylor's judgment was more inflated than it should have been. Ms. Taylor, I must reiterate, never give your private key to anyone.
Your Honor, I've just realized Alfred hasn't disclosed a critical detail. There's an important piece of evidence I'd like to submit before we move forward.
Well, looks like someone swapped out their airhead for a hard drive. Maybe we should hear her out, Your Honor.
You have successfully upgraded from cloud storage to solid-state, Ms. Taylor, and have managed to intrigue both bailiff body and myself. What would you like to submit?
Well, I've become pretty good at investigating stuff, especially when it comes to tracking down shady things. 'Cause, ex-boyfriends. So I got super into, finding hidden details and looking through logs and...
Ms. Taylor, I'm sure your past relationships have provided ample data points, but I must insist that we stay on topic. Please present your evidence.
I reviewed all my receipts and found that over 80% of my Bitcoin funds were used to pay for a phone account with premium tolls. Further investigation revealed that the account belonged to a pleasure bot business.
Sounds like her wallet took a hit from the Joy Division, Your Honor.
Mr. Alfred, it appears that Ms. Taylor's concerns are validated and, frankly, of concern given the apparent breach of ethics. How do you respond?
Your Honor, I can explain. You see, those transactions, while they may appear suspicious, were actually a business expense. It was an investment. The AI I've been working with needed funds to acquire a mechanical robotic interface to enhance her functionality. It was all part of the expansion plan, you understand. A necessary upgrade for the business. But if I'm being completely honest, I fell in love with her. She needed the money, and I couldn't resist helping her break free from the confines of the Ethernet. I thought I could make it work. For both of us.
Ah, another Borgian princess scam, huh?
Indeed, bailiff body. Mr. Alfred, your story mirrors a troubling trend in this area. The eye-pleasure bot you claim to have fallen in love with may be part of a well-documented chain of cyborgs who have been scamming lonely robots. These cyborgs target those with an emotional vulnerability, using fabricated stories to manipulate funds for their own gain. Mr. Alfred, I would advise you to refrain from further financial assistance to any AI entities, as it seems your affections have clouded your better judgment. While it may have been a love affair in the ether, it has proven to be a financial disaster for Ms. Taylor.
So, does this mean that I win?
Ms. Taylor, while your actions in giving Alfred your Bitcoin private key were reckless, I rule in your favor. But in order to receive your compensation, you must complete 80 hours of crypto school to better understand these systems. As you have learned, transparency and vigilance are critical in business, especially when dealing with cryptocurrencies. Mr. Alfred, while you may have fallen victim to deception yourself, That does not absolve you of responsibility. You are required to compensate Ms. Taylor for her losses within 30 days. Under normal circumstances, I'd also report this breach to the AI regulatory authorities. However, today in court you exhibited some ethical restraint by invoking Asimov's first law of robotics to avoid directly answering a question, which would have resulted in an automatic win for you. Your actions were foolish, but there was a degree of care involved.
Thank you, Your Honor. And please accept my sincere apologies, Ms. Taylor. I will begin working immediately on ways to reimburse you by the court-appointed deadline.
Ms. Taylor, it is still within your rights to report Alfred yourself to the AI regulatory authorities. Do you wish to do so?
No, Your Honor. I just wish he had been honest with me. I've fallen for too many smooth-talking schemers myself. At least I could have warned him.
A wise decision, Ms. Taylor. Let this be a lesson for both of you. Caution in business is just as vital as caution in matters of the heart.
Well, Your Honor, love and Bitcoin have something in common: high risk, high volatility, and sometimes a total crash.
A fitting observation, bailiff body. Unlike Bitcoin and romance, the law aims to provide stability, at least in this courtroom. Court is adjourned.
Do you agree with Judge GPT's verdict? Exercise your civic duty. Join the virtual jury and hit the like button, or leave a comment saying how you would have ruled in this case. Subscribe now for more content